What is going on YouTube? Hayden here, and in today's episode, we're going to be covering XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, and then the S&P 500. Now, yesterday we made another episode basically talking about how another rally could possibly be coming for a lot of the major cryptocurrencies. We discussed 2 days ago how we're about to possibly see another break in the markets within the day, and that is actually what we saw. We saw XRP kind of do a pull down, and you can see we're already starting to correct to the downside here. We had drawn original kind of supports and resistances here. Honestly, across the board with a lot of these cryptos, we're forming new technical indicators, which we're going to continue to kind of play out today. You can see we had this sort of very small, it was almost like the hourly charts, a sort of symmetrical triangle forming here. You can see filling in the gap quite nicely here. We broke down from that, and we've now fallen to support, which we've used to rebound and reverse to the upside, which is actually quite exciting, if you ask me. But on top of that, we do need to continue covering these major cryptocurrencies, XRP, and a lot of the other altcoins, because new technical indicators are forming. Yesterday, we discovered that there was a bull flag forming on XRP's 4-hour charts. You can see I've drawn that in here. We have a beautiful flagpole up, followed by a descending fractal to the downside here. And as we fill this in, we should be looking for a decision. Now, I also think we're forming a new technical indicator here on the short term, which we're going to have to zoom into the hourly charts and see. But overall, we look exceptionally, and I mean exceptionally well. Now, there's obviously a chance we could head up higher, but I've been saying, and I'll keep saying it, that the run is here. The run is most likely going to be over fairly soon, if not already, and then we are going to start our descent. Bitcoin at 100K is where we figured markets would be. If at the most we could see 150, 180, which I know sounds like a lot, but in hindsight, it's really not. That's maybe a 50% run. I know that isn't necessarily a lot, but we see that quite often in cryptocurrency. That's not that surprising, but easily shooting up to like 150 would only be 37%. It's not a large rally by any means here. It is still definitely an option, but I do think we are definitely leaning towards correction, and that's what you guys have to spend quite a lot of time focusing on and understanding that there's a lot of downside potential in the markets today, especially because of how overvalued we are, and I'll show you that in a second. Anywho, with that being said, though, smash that like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and let's get right into today's episode. So guys, before I forget, remember, BYDFI is doing a trading competition. There's practically 2 weeks left, about 2 weeks, 15 days to be exact here, with this trading competition. And what that means is basically anybody that decides to sign up with the link down in the description below, you can also be already signed up to BYDFI. Maybe you're a year old, maybe you've been on the exchange for 3 years, it doesn't matter. You still have a chance to enter the trading competition. And what's unique about this, unlike their other promotions, which usually is like 8K in just free bonus crypto, this is actually fully withdrawable. There's no strings attached, which is super cool. $8,400 is the prize pool. We started this 2 weeks ago, and the current pool was at $1,000, and every mil that gets traded in trading volume, it goes up again. So you can see we have a total supply now of our total prize pool of $8,400, and I can easily see this doubling in the next 15 days, which is going to be crazy. We're talking about close to a $15,000 to $20,000 trading pool, which is absolutely incredible here. And the cool part is some of you guys might be kind of disheartened, if that's a word, or kind of like just like, there's no point. I keep trying to think of the correct word to say here, but just like shocked or kind of scared away, or just kind of not wanting to get involved, maybe because you can see that to even place in the top 5, you have to be trading well over 3 mil, which is quite a bit. But the cool part about this, and what I really like that BYDFI did, is they understood that. And even though the 80% of the prize pool is being given to the top 5 traders here, what they did, which is super cool, is 20% of the prize pool is going to be distributed to 5 traders that have trading volume over $100. That's extremely low. So literally a deposit of $10 traded at 10x will get you that trading volume, and you will then be entered to have a chance to win 5% of over $8,000, which is actually pretty crazy for only a very small trade in the market, which is pretty nuts. More information about BYDFI will be later on in today's episode here. What I want to focus in is on the fact that in the market right now, you can see that's pretty cool. 100K Bitcoin, that's pretty nuts. But we have extreme greed at 81 on the Fear and Greed Index. That is an indicator, let alone that is going to tell you that we are near overbought. We are kind of at the top. We are kind of peaking, and there's a very high chance we could see correction take place in the very near future. And that's something you guys have to pay attention to, is that there's a very high correction coming for a lot of these cryptocurrencies. We'll see when that decides to happen, but it is definitely soon that we could see a correction to take place here. What's funny is, have you guys seen that trade, the Hawk Tua girl that popped up here, that the major pump and dump that took place here, where she pretty much pumped the markets all the way up to like 500 million in trading volume, and then absolutely wrecked it and dumped it on all her fans here, which is pretty hysterical, but no surprise at all. That's typically what happens here. But if you guys have heard of that, let me know down in the comments below. But what I really want to show you is a lot of these cryptos are consolidating down. You can see we had major runs, and now we're floating down, and this might be it. Correction to the downside. We might actually experience one more run, and then obviously we'll have corrections slowly veering lower here, but expect to see some major suction out of the market in the very near future. And what I mean by that is, if we look at Bitcoin, for example, and I jump to like the 1 month, I didn't even want to do that. Hold on. We jump to like the 1 month chart here. You'll notice that we typically have these, or let's do the weekly. That might be a little bit easier for me to explain. You can see how there might be one more run left in us. You can see basically by 2017, that's what we had. We had or 2020, we had a run, and then we had a run even higher than that, and then correction. But correction is on the verge, and it is definitely going to happen fairly soon. It happened here. This is only one pump, but then we correct down, and there's a very good chance that that same thing could happen now. And that's what you guys have to be paying very close attention to, that there is definitely another correction to take place. Now, it could have already happened. Like us rallying up to 73K definitely could have been that one, and this could very well have been the second. I actually think, the way I look at this now, that actually could be that high. We could be at the highest point in crypto right now and then cause correction to take place. I'm actually, the more I look at it, the more that seems very viable and possible here, that this is this. We had this run and then correction, and that is exactly what's happening now. And now we're at that peak now, and we really don't have much more room to head downwards. You can see here, this or much more room to head upwards. This could be that top in the market. And it looks, the more I look at it, the more it makes sense. And now what we're going to expect is correction to the downside here. Truly, that's what I would expect to see happen here. We already had the rally up, and now we're going to see a descent. Now, there will be some stairs, something like this, but there's a very high chance we could see a descent to the downside here. And that's something you guys are going to have to pay attention to. There's a very high probability that the markets are due to reverse very soon, and take that, take that seriously, guys. Don't be stupid here. There's a lot of FOMO in the markets right now. Now, as for XRP, jumping to the hourly, this is kind of what I'm starting to notice here, is there's a new technical indicator forming here. Without a doubt, there's some sort of downtrend on the market, and then without a doubt, there's some sort of uptrend here. Check it out. You can see we are forming some sort of smaller symmetrical triangle. It's a new pattern. It almost looks like some sort. We've seen these before. You can see here, and there's a very good chance this could easily break out and to the downside here. How we enter is how we exit. We entered on a bear run. We could exit on a bear run here. So this is a new pattern for sure on the hourly as we fill this in inside a bull flag. Now, this bull flag is very easily bullish, and we could easily see a run to the upside, but there could be a lot of distraught or maybe even correction that could take place much sooner than the pump could come, or this could be the end here. It's just something to pay attention to. Like, there's a very high chance a lot of these cryptos are at their peak for the next 3 to 4 years. Just keep that in mind. This very easily could be the top. It wasn't nearly as promoted as we saw in the past, but that doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we are going to see some very interesting movements from here on out. You can see, though, that this on the short term is definitely something to keep your eye on here. We'll do these trades on BYDFI, the #1 cryptocurrency leveraging exchange that I like to use here on the channel, mainly because they offer XRP to leverage trade. You can see right here, XRP, buy long, limit orders, market orders, stop limit orders. We have take profits. We have stop losses. We have reduce onlys. We have trailing stop losses. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But the best part is they offer a demo trading account, which you can see I have pulled up right here. Gives you 50K in demo money to practice trading your skills, get familiar with the exchange, and then when you're ready, you can head on over to the live account. But before you do, head on over when you first sign up to the reward center to claim bonuses of a free $100 in free crypto. You can see right here for those signing up, and then up to $8,100 in free cryptocurrency by or 8K plus that would be. Plus this would be 8,100 for maybe some whales out there, but there's tons of other increments in between for you guys to check out here. And then you head on over to the live account. You can use that bonus money, and all profits made on bonus money is completely withdrawable, which is super cool. Now, as for these other cryptos, we have some correction taking place within Solana on the 4-hour charts here. It almost looks like there's some sort of sneaky uptrend forming. Do you guys see that? Maybe something like this, followed by maybe something like this. But again, bearish. That's the problem. This is still bearish. How we entered was on a downtrend, and it very easily could be breaking down. And I think that there is a very high probability that these markets are going to cool off, and we're going to see pullback within the next couple of days here. It's just my opinion. I still think we're even overbought on Ethereum. This looks like it needs to pull back. Bitcoin is probably the one cryptocurrency that doesn't look like it on the 4-hour. Bitcoin at the bottom of its beautiful ascending broadening wedge. Now, keep in mind, ascending broadening wedges break down. Textbook-wise, they break down. So keep that in mind. We can pull it up here. Ascending broadening wedges have a bearish outlook. They correct to the downside, just like this. You can see we cause correction. We have correction, and we have correction. So just like that, again, even though we could see a reversal back up, we are in something which inevitably does dump. So keep that in mind. All these markets look primed for dumping. So that's a little nerve-wracking, but it's something to keep your eyes on. I'm going to delete this. We could maybe extend that out just a hair, and you can see now how that's starting to form. Cause correction. I think we're due for a dump on all these markets. Even the stock market looks ready for a dip. So we might be at that high. We definitely might be at that high, so just keep that in mind. But otherwise, that's it for today's video. Smash that like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.